how many of us are waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right person to come along and say, go for it, you know? For me, it's always been about starting from somewhere, starting anywhere, how scared, how messy, how imperfect you feel. This talk is about, yes, it's also about making a salad. But before that, I really wanted to share a story. Because when you have a power, when you have that power, you can make so many things happen in your life. So as I said, it's also about making a salad. Before I talk about the salad, I wanted to tell you a little bit about me. I'm a chef, author, and broadcaster. My journey started as a chef from a little seed that I grew up in India. And for me, food is not just about cooking. It's about connection. It's about stories. It's about journeys. It's about adaptation. You know, it's like, just like our histories, we're crossing borders, making traditions come together and making that sometimes happening to belong in that space. I started as a chef when I kind of came to this country. But before that, my mom, I was never interested in cooking. I grew up in a home where kitchen was the heart of everything. And the stories and the food, the flavors were surrounded by migration and memories. So for me, growing up, I was more interested in playing cricket, badminton, and kind of getting lost in the detective novels I loved. I always thought I'm going to be a spy one day or become a cricketer. I never wanted to be around the kitchen. I loved food, but I never wanted to be around it. But of course, years later, my mum had cancer. She was diagnosed with cancer. And that was the moment that when she was going through the radiotherapy, a woman's life who was evolved around the food, her children, and she enjoyed cooking. And that was the moment when the radiotherapy was happening, the flavors changed, and she would put so many salt and spices in the food. And that was the moment I understood the power of food, understood how food is so important, not only as a nourishment, as the love. You need to give care. That is what my point was, that it was the food became the power inside me. And I said to my dad, I would love to be a chef, and I want to go to hotel management. That's what we called in India. And I was 16 at that time doing my A-levels. And that was the point. And my dad looked at me and he said, no, because there are a very handful of women chefs in India still now. And he said, you won't survive. And I just kind of, when I look back now, he was right in so many ways. And I think when you have that in you, you will always follow the dream that you wanted to do. And food, when I came to this country, became my savior. At the age of 22, a tragedy hit. I came to this country. I had no family, no friends, and no roof over me. But food was something that really was the point that gave me strength. Because food, sometimes you come from a different, and India is a big country. Indian food is not just Indian, it's very regional. And I wanted to teach people how to share the food that I grew up in. Is it not 10 pints of lager and a curry? The food that I grew up in was very, very different. So I wanted to share that with people. So when I moved to Southwest, my daughters were very little. And I said, I'm going to start teaching people. I wrote to the community centers and I said, I want to teach people. I want to start a cookery school. And they were really lovely. And I started teaching people. It became very popular. That gave me the confidence of not only be able to share my story, but also the food that I grew up eating. And that was the moment that I started writing to cookery schools to give me an opportunity. Don't pay me, and many never replied. And few did. And every opportunity that they gave me, I took it, washing dishes or chopping or anything like that, because I wanted to put my mark in the hospitality, put my foot in there, because that's the starting point. And I started selling my chutneys, my pickles, my sauces, my food in farmers market, in food festivals, big or small. And hoping for the people, when you're setting up those stalls, hoping for the people would come, whether it's raining or if it's cold, I was hoping for people to come and taste my food. And that's why I have so much respect for all the street food market, because I've been through that. I've been through that journey. And eventually, I saw a building where I live in Thornbury, and I put for change of use. Can you believe the change of use took 3.5 years of getting that? It was a grade 2 listed building, but I never, anybody in their right mind would have given up, but I did not want to. I did not want to open anywhere else. I wanted to be in Thornbury. I wanted to be around my kids. I'm hoping for answers, and eventually I got that change of use. And then banks won't give me loan because, restaurant fails in first year. Second, I'm a woman. And third, whether you like it or not, I'm a woman of color. So all the odds were stacked against me, but I never gave up. I said to my husband, I'm going to open it. And Indians have a lot of, Southeast Asian have a lot of gold jewelry. I sold the gold jewelry that my mom, a heritage, pieces of my mom who gave me when I got married, I sold that. And then whatever shares we had or anything that we had, we put towards that, to opening that restaurant. I invested in it. And eventually, BBC came to know that I was not getting a loan. And they did a national news, and eventually I got a loan. NatWest rang me and said, we'd love to give you a loan. That's the power of good journalism, So I think that, but when opening a restaurant also comes with challenges, but it also comes with sacrifices. I missed my daughters growing up because I wanted to prove that I want my restaurant to be successful. I did not want to be a failure. I opened the restaurant, and I missed my daughters' birthdays. I missed their school plays, whatever. And I still feel that inside me. It's always going to be emotional because they're grown up, they are in university. I'm sorry, I'm getting choky now. But I'm here today because of them, because of my friends, because of my husband, and because of so many people in the hospitality who believed in me. And tell you one thing, having a restaurant is such an important thing to have, because with that comes so many other opportunities. Because I wrote to 10 publishers for 10 years to give me a cookbook deal. They never did. But eventually, I did get a book deal. And now I've written 3 books. I'm writing my 4th one. So I tell you, if you want to write a book, every no is an invitation to write again. So never give up. You never, ever give up. I have made everything from scratch. There was no one, no fame, nothing. But I am so strong in certain things that I don't take no for an answer. People will say yes or no. There will be somebody who will be really happy and tell you, yes, you can. And then when I came to this country, there was only 4 channels. I don't know how older people will remember, younger might not. There was only BBC, BBC 2, ITV, and Channel 4, and there was no other, not even Channel 5. And I used to watch 2 Fat Ladies, I don't know if you remember that, Keith Floyd, and Ready, Steady, Cook. And I used to sit in the sofa and think, wouldn't it be great to go in the audience and hold those boards with green peppers and red tomatoes? Can you believe years later, I was a face of Ready, Steady, Cook for 2 series. I manifested that without even thinking. So I think the power of what you have within you is you. No one can come and help you. Because if you have that, and then the radio came or the television came, it just came because I knew The BBC wanted to tick that box because I'm a woman of color, but I'm good at what I do. I will not let that opportunity go to waste. So now I present, can you believe, one show. So I do films for one show. I'm a presenter for them. I present Radio 4. So I think if you have them within you, you can do anything in your life. So after that, I'm going to come and talk to you about the salad now. So what I have here is beans from this country, deeply rooted in this soil. Pomegranate from Middle East, beautiful color, full of life and juicy, a jewel in a crown. Fennel from Mediterranean, crisp and fragrant. Onions from Central Asia and beyond. Peppercorns, which I have here. And lemons, these are lemons. Even the green ones are lemons. They're from India. Beyond, they've traveled so many oceans and trade and migration to be here. Oil from Palestine, rich and grounded. Salt and coriander, universal, belonging to everyone and no one. When I see food, I see as a connector. These are flower beans from Hodmodods. These are from UK. When I see food, I see how food has traveled through centuries of different cultures, crossing borders and adaptation. It's also so many stories and journeys that has made. Fennel is so delicious. And when I tell you one thing, when people tell you, you don't belong here, you do belong here. See that noise? The noise of years of all this is the peppercorns that are from India. That goes in there as well. And some lemon juice, I'm going to put that in. Some fennel has been already in there and some oil. This is so delicious oil. And some fresh coriander. When you see this bowl, what do you see? I see traditions of crossing borders, migration. Every ingredient tells a story of adaptation, and so many other stories that each ingredients and people come together. And that's when magic happens. When you don't fit into a single box, that is when creation happens as well. And this is, for me, is not only a simple, delicious labor of love of different migrants, but also a story of power, the power that you can change the world and you can belong. And I tell you, start scared, start messy, however you want to start, because that makes you determined, makes you stronger, makes you powerful. And this is a bowl of different flavors. And that's what we are. When we are all together, that's what happens. Thank you.